Hi, my beautiful kings and queens. It's Deesh. So happy Sunday. Just a little Sunday motivation for my queens and kings, of course. So a couple things came to me. And as usual, hi, Tammy. As usual, I get the message and then the message comes to you. So, hopefully this won't be long. You guys know I swear I do. I try not to make it too long, but the message is most important and the content. So first thing is, so I've talked about this before, ladies and gentlemen, but I talk to my queens more. So ladies, I've talked to you about this, talking with an intention of coming from a place of self-love and self-care, okay? Self-respect, self-love, self-care. So, women, we are, we're just so conditioned, unfortunately, to put everyone before ourselves, right? And actually feel guilty about that, right? As if you don't deserve to take care and nourish yourself. And I'm gonna let you know again, ladies, you have to take care of yourself, ladies. You have to take care of yourself to be able to take care of others. And there's nothing selfish about that. You have to take care of self first. You've got to put yourself first to be a blessing, to be able to help someone else. You have to fill your tank up first, and then you can give from your overflow. That's how it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to be essentially running on E and trying to help somebody else. Think about it. So if you're on the side of, say someone needs your assistance, right? And you have run out of gas, right? Are you going to be able to give that person a ride? I mean, where are you guys going to go? Because your car is on E. I mean, I guess both of you can, push the car together. But let's be serious. If your car is on E, if your tank is on E, and someone needs a ride from you, can you really help them? Can you help that person get to their destination when you yourself are on E? No. Okay. And there's nothing guilty. You shouldn't feel bad about that. It just means that you need to put some gas in your car, in your tank, and then you can go back and see if, the person still needs help, or you can just go back and help the person. Okay? Please, stop feeling guilty about taking care of you. There has to be a point in your life where you do get to that space where you're okay with that. You're going to have to tell some people, no, ladies, it's, I'm sorry. You're just going to have to tell some people no. And it's not because you don't like them. It's not because you're not a good person. It's not because you don't want to help them. But and you have to recognize that the best way to be a blessing or to help that person is if you yourself take care of you first, because it's a totally different space. Energetically, it's a totally different space when you have more than enough and it's coming from abundance. And even so, when you're at peace, ladies, oh my gosh, I'm making some changes in my life, and I've made some changes in my life. And of course, I'm on my path like you guys are. And so I always tell you guys, I'm like you, trust me. I don't have it all figured out. I don't. But I certainly can speak to certain things that I have gone through and some things that I'm working on. And of course, when I get that message, if you will, I share it with you guys, what I'm going through, in hopes that it will empower and encourage and inspire you all, to also make some better choices from a place of that self-love and self-respect. Okay. But yes, please do not feel guilty for taking time out for you, because it's necessary and it's mandatory. Something else that I'll say it was brought up in a sermon. Okay, so like humility. Okay. So they're talking about humility. Okay. And the one thing I can agree to is that the person said you can be confident, you know, and still humble, of course. And that I agree to. Like that I actually agree to. So the issue for me is when you talk about like humility or being humble, to the extent as if a person is not supposed to ever toot their own horn, as if a person is not supposed to ever pat themselves on the back. And that's ridiculous. You know, because again, I agree, you can be a confident person or a confident woman or a confident man, and still be humble. You know, there's a lot more to that. And for this live video, I'm not going to dive into that. But I just want to briefly touch on that, that you can indeed be humble and confident. And ladies, you deserve to pat yourself on the back, okay? You deserve to give yourself, you know, be proud of your accomplishments and everything that you have accomplished so far. And so if that means that you take yourself out, that you know, treat yourself to a trip, you know, dinner, whatever it is that you do for yourself, you deserve that, okay? You absolutely deserve that, ladies. And so I don't want you to feel like you can never, ever say anything about yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself and what you're doing, your gifts, your talents, your products, your services, no one else is going to do that. If you don't believe in yourself and what you have to offer, no one else is going to believe in that either. Okay, so there has to be some a level of confidence, a level of belief in yourself, in who you are and what you have to offer. And therefore, you know, you can be humble and be successful, and like not be arrogant, you know. Again, I just really, ladies, my queens, I just want you guys to please, don't feel guilty. Just like, don't feel guilty for your success either. Again, because you can be your queen, you can be queenness all day, and you can be fulfilling your gifts, fulfilling your purpose or using your gifts and talents for good, and still be humble. And you can still like nice things, and still be humble. You know, we all know Oprah, but there are plenty of other successful people who are humble, you know, down to earth or laid, you know, just normal people, but they're successful, and you don't see them, you know, boasting or bragging or anything like that. But they also don't deny who they are. And that's my thing. Like, I don't want you to deny, and you should not deny who you are, your gifts, your talents, whatever it is that you're supposed to do in the world. Don't deny that. And don't let people make you feel guilty about that. So yes, there's just always going to be people who you can't please, ladies. Oh my gosh, queens, live your life and you do your thing. You cannot please everyone. It's impossible. You can be a woman that never says anything, and somebody, okay, because you know there's always one, okay, and somebody's going to find something to say. Oh, who does she think she is? And oh, you know, she's talking about the fact that she did X, Y, and Z. Like, oh my gosh, you're just not going to be able to please everyone. And I don't want you to live your life or keep sounding like a broken record. I don't want you to ever start sounding like a broken record in the first place, you know, because you're so worried about what other people are going to say, you know, and then you feel like, oh my gosh, I have to be humble. Like, I can't say anything. Like, I can't say anything. I can't really honor who I am. I can't, you know, stand in my truth or walk in my truth. And that's not true, because then that would be inauthentic, okay? Be yourself, ladies. Stay true to yourself. Be authentic. Be unapologetically you, okay? Be unapologetically authentically you. The right people will love you. Your tribe. I hear people say the soul tribe, your soul tribe, your vibe, whatever it is that you want to call it. But your people will love you. You know, who God has assigned to you is for you. No one can take that away. There are people that need you, what you have, your personality, no matter how big, small, you know, it doesn't matter. Someone needs what you have. And don't let anyone try to make you feel bad about who you are or your gifts or your talents or any type of success that you have achieved or, you know, anything. Just take care of yourself, focus on you, focus on what matters and what's most important, okay? Because of course it's very easy to focus on that one negative person. You know, I'm human, hello. It's so easy to do that. And so I'm also speaking, of course, to myself. But, you know, let's honor ourselves, let's celebrate ourselves, but let's also just like celebrate the people that love you. You know, love the ones that love you. You know, that's something I can say for myself, ladies, that going into 2018, I pretty much made a declaration for myself is to only focus on the people that matter and only focus on the things that matter. You know, because for me, having peace of mind is priceless. And for me, it's about the peace of mind and the happiness. You know, so everything I'm doing or that I'm trying to do, you know, has to some degree, of course, be congruent to my peace of mind and my happiness. And so, you know, nothing's going to change overnight, but, you know, day by day, you know, doing the right things or whatever it is that you need to do to get to what you're trying to get to or achieve day by day, you keep moving forward. And trust me, things will change. The energy will shift. Things will change. When you're very clear and you set out that intention or declaration, affirmation, and you're taking that consistent action behind it that's congruent to what you actually have said, something has to manifest out of that. So trust me, you whatever it is that you want, ladies, you go for it, declare it, affirm it, speak it into existence, and make sure that you're taking action behind it to ensure that you do, you know, achieve it. So that was the first thing. You guys know I kind of like skip around. But the other tip that came to me was, okay, ladies, again, this all ties in. And I talk about these things in the No More Broken Records book. So you probably have seen me talk more about the Queens Don't Settle book, the poetry book. But remember, Queens Don't Settle is, or should I say, was sort of birthed from the No More Broken Records movement, period. So the No More Broken Records book and the Queens Don't Settle book, they're both on Amazon, but they tie in together because the message is the same about us as women not settling in our lives, period, okay? So going back to this, I mentioned in the No More Broken Records book that helping ladies. So, okay, again, yes, as women, we're caretakers and we're nurturers. I fully get that, okay? But that does not mean that you have to let people take advantage of you. That does not mean that you can never, ever say no to someone, okay? And an example, okay, is if you know that someone, for example, if you know that someone has a gambling problem, okay? And unfortunately, that person comes to you. You know, they come to you almost like clockwork. They come to you every 2 weeks. We're just going to use an example. They come to you every 2 weeks, and they need money for something, okay? Now, you know, ladies, you know that person is going to take your money and go gamble that money off, okay? The fact that you know that, you consciously know that, okay? You giving them money that's not loving, okay? That's not helping them, okay? That essentially is more like being a crutch to them. Okay, and so that person is going to be continuing to sound like a broken record or repeat their cycles like a broken record. They're going to continue to repeat that because you're essentially helping them to do that. Okay, there's probably a lesson that that person, male or female actually, there's a lesson that that person probably needs to get. And they're not going to get it until you stop feeding into their habit. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to get that until you stop giving them money every 2 weeks, just because I guess they need it. You know, where's the money going? You know it's going to gambling. Okay, so you're essentially basically helping them to keep up the gambling habit. So I would suggest that you stop giving them the money to go gamble, because again, consciously, you already know that's what they're going to do, and that's where that money is going, and that's why they don't ever have money. Okay, so that's not helping someone. Okay, that's more like enabling someone. Okay, of course I believe in help. We are all here, one collective consciousness, one body, you know, one people, one world, all of that. Okay, yes, I get that. We are here to help. Okay, but help does not mean you should enable someone to continue to repeat their same mistakes and not essentially get the lesson that they need to get. Okay, so again, ladies, you don't have to feel guilty about that. You do not have to feel guilty about not essentially enabling someone to continue with their bad habits. No, absolutely not. Okay, you are not. No matter how successful, we'll say that you may get, I understand to whom much is given, much is required, but that does not equal to or does not equate to being somebody's like financial backup or being somebody's crutch, you know, like someone feeling entitled to have you bail them out every other week or something. You know what I mean? Like there has to come a point where, again, the intention is self-love and self-respect. Like you have to love yourself enough to say, no, I love myself. I have self-respect. I love myself. And whoever that is, hopefully you like them I want you to do better. And so for me to help you, I have to stop doing what I'm doing to sort of enable you to keep doing what you're doing. You see? Excuse me. And you don't have to feel bad for that. Okay? So think about, are you really helping someone or are you enabling someone? Because there's a difference. There's a difference. Okay? That's not loving. That is not loving. If you know you're consciously feeding into someone's, not so good behavior or not so good habits, okay? And then the last thing was about significance. So everybody doesn't have to be Oprah to have significance. Everyone doesn't have to want to have an Oprah life, be like Oprah, do everything that she's done to have significance, okay? Everybody has their own thing. Whatever you were put on this earth to do, that's your thing, and no one can take that away from you. And you need to honor that, and you should nurture it and share it. Like it should be shared, no matter how small that may be. You should be sharing your gifts and talents with the world, because that's what we need to help positively raise the vibration of the world. Everybody should be using their talents for good. So no matter how small it is, I urge you to really get on the path or tap into whatever it is that your gifts and talents are, to go ahead and share them with the world. Because again, you don't have to be Oprah. And like Viola Davis, for example, okay, some people may not have known who she was. Some people probably still don't know who she is, but maybe some people didn't become aware of her until she won the Oscar, right? So does that mean that everything that she did up until the point that she won those awards was insignificant, just because a couple people didn't recognize her or become aware of who she was until she won that award? Of course not. everything that you do is significant. Like every milestone, every little accomplishment that you do is significant. Like we're so hard on ourselves. And I've said that before, queens, like we're so hard on ourselves and we don't give ourselves enough credit for what we actually have accomplished. Trust me, there are people in this world that are never ever going to tap into their gifts and talents. They're never going to do anything. They're just going to, like, I guess we'll just say they're going to casually coast through life. You know what I mean? Like they're just gonna do the same old thing. They're just gonna coast through life till they're to their 6 feet under. Okay, like, gosh, I don't want that to be you, queens. Everything that you do is significant. Like, no matter how small. I don't care if it's painting, drawing, photography, heck, a lawyer, doctor, some of the if you're not an athlete or or a singer or a model, something, those aren't the only things that, are important. There's a lot of, just based on how our society is, of course, the athletes and people in the entertainment industry, of course, there's a lot more around that. But, there's grace, or there's honor in being a doctor. There's honor in being a pediatrician. There's honor in being a veterinarian. I have a dog, so yes, I need the veterinarian or who was called on this earth to be a veterinarian to go ahead and do that, so I can take my dog there if he gets sick. You know what I mean? Like, you're significant no matter what your calling is or what your gifts and talents are. And so please don't ever feel like you're not enough, queens. Oh my gosh, as women, we are hammered. We're hammered day in and day out about us not being good enough, not being smart enough, not being thin enough. And unfortunately, if a woman is pretty small, she's not big enough. It's like, it's not enough. You're not enough in some kind of way, and at some point you have got to just you've got to go like that. You know what I mean? You've got to drown out that noise and start to really love yourself and take care of yourself and speak life into yourself and not worry about all of that. And feel significant for, whatever it is, whatever your gifts and talents are. You are significant, and you should feel like you are significant, So again, just because you're not Oprah or Bill Gates, or a Steve Jobs, that's okay. Whatever it is that you are, whatever it is that your truth is, whatever your gifts and talents are from the heart, you know what you have, you know who you are, you know what you have. Honor that, ladies, honor that, please honor that. Okay, because we absolutely need your gifts, your talents, your voice. We need your voice in whatever manner it's supposed to come. We need that for all of us to collectively, again, make some positive impact in this world. Okay, and you don't have to be Oprah. Okay, so again, just to kind of recap, I covered a lot, but essentially, self-care, self-love, self-respect, not feeling guilty about taking care of your so yes, not feeling guilty about taking care of yourself. If there's a period, a couple months that you just want to take some time off for yourself, ladies, do that. When someone comes and asks you for something, you just simply say, you know what, I can't help you with that right now. That's it. I'm sure some of you have heard, no is a complete sentence. You know what, I can't help you with that right now. I'm sorry, I can't do that right now. I can't help you with that right now. That's really it. That's it. And then I talked about that you can be confident and you can be humble, so wherever you are as far as your journey, yes, celebrate those things, celebrate the milestones, celebrate every step that you've taken to accomplish your goals, your dreams, whatever it is that you're working on. You need to you need to pat yourself on the back sometimes. You absolutely do. You have to give yourself credit, because this is not easy. Let's just be honest. This like path of like, I'll say enlightenment, or, you know, the path to becoming your best self, your highest self, or the entrepreneurial path, being an entrepreneur and trying to build a successful business or an empire. Like, it ain't easy. Hello. Okay. So you need to be able to celebrate yourself and everything that you've accomplished along the way. And that's not being humble. Like, no, some people act like you can never, ever say anything about yourself. That's crazy. No, celebrate yourself, queens. Celebrate yourself. I give you permission. Celebrate yourself, okay? And you can still be confident and you can be humble. Yes, we all know what arrogance is, and come on, we don't have to talk about that, but you can be confident and humble, and I just don't want you guys to feel like you can never ever say anything about yourself or your business or your products, whatever, because as I said earlier in this video, if you don't believe in yourself and what you actually have to offer, your gifts, your talents, but you know, your products, your services, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to believe in you. You know, so you have to have a level of belief in yourself, and you do have to have some confidence, you know, to actually get out there and try to be your best self in the first place. And then, my God, you decided to try to create a product or a service to help people. You know, yes, when you get a great testimonial, there's nothing wrong with wanting to share that. You know, again, we all know what arrogant is, okay? But no, you can be confident and you can be humble, okay? Again, the other thing, think about whether or not you are helping someone or are you enabling someone, okay? Are you helping them or are you really enabling them, okay? Because there's a difference. You know, are you really somebody's crutch? You know, are you the real reason why someone is not making changes in their life, because you're feeding and nurturing the bad habits? You know, you're reinforcing the bad behavior. You know, you're not reinforcing the good, you're reinforcing the bad. You know, and I brought up the example of someone who gambles. If you know a person is gambling and they come to you for money because they don't have money for their light bill. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing. Don't pay me any mind. It's just an example, I swear. So if you know they're gambling and they need money for their light bill somehow every month, okay, but you know that money is going to the casino, okay? Why would you do that when you know that money is not going to the light bill? So again, are you really helping them or are you enabling them to continue with that gambling habit? Okay, the truth is you're enabling the gambling habit. So think about what you're sowing into, and that's just, it's not loving. You know, if you're not really helping and you're reinforcing that bad behavior, essentially, that's not loving. That's on a deeper level, that's not loving, okay? And then the last thing was the significance. Again, you don't have to be Oprah or Tony Robbins or Les Brown or who else? Gosh, I mean, there's so many, or Bill Gates or Steve Jobs, or, you know, you don't have to be like that, okay? You have gifts and talents. No one is like you. Think we all have a fingerprint. Nobody else in this world has your fingerprint. So nobody else in this world can be you. Nobody. Fingerprint, okay? Everybody, there's over 7 billion people on this planet, and everybody has a different fingerprint. So everybody is unique. Everybody has their own thing, their own gifts and talents, and that's what you should focus on, okay? That's enough. That's enough. You're significant. Your gifts are significant. Your talents, your abilities, they are significant. And just because you may never get to a level that Oprah's on doesn't make you any less significant or your gifts any less significant. Do what you can do with what you have. If you just happen to be a hometown hero, great. Yeah, just because the rest of the world doesn't know that, do you really need that? You know, it's supposed to be about using your gifts and talents for good. So if that's what it's really about, then that shouldn't matter whether or not you have, you know, gotten to like Oprah level per se. You know, what's your intention? So if your intention is love and to give and to, you know, just use your gifts and talents for good, whether or not you get to that level, I mean, is that really important? You know, I'm not saying you can't strive for that, but I mean, I just don't want you to feel like that's the only way to be successful, because it's not. You know, if you change one person's life with a message that you shared, or a poem, like I'm a poet as well, in addition to being an author, like I'm a poet as well, a poem, a painting, a message, I don't know, just some encouraging words. You could have said something encouraging to a stranger, and you just totally change that person's day. You know, putting a smile on somebody's face. Like, it's not always, everything doesn't have to be so big to have significance. Okay, so think about that. You're significant. The fact that you're here on earth at this time, you are significant. You have purpose. You're here on purpose, and just celebrate yourself and honor who you are, and don't shrink and don't minimize and don't feel bad for who you are and your gifts and talents, whatever they may be, and don't feel bad, you know, for what you have accomplished either. Don't shrink for anyone. Oh my gosh, queens, don't you shrink for anyone. Don't dim your light, okay? You better give them some sunglasses or something, but you do not dim your light for anyone, okay? If you're around people that aren't necessarily celebrating you or have a problem with that, and these are supposedly supposed to be people that are your friends, maybe, I might reconsider that. I might reconsider your circle, okay? In all honesty, I talk about that in, again, the No More Broken Records book, and I also have the poems in Queens Don't Settle. So between those two books, the message is the same. It's empowering us as women not to settle, period, across the board, because we're queens. We're queens. We're royalty. We're God's daughters. You know, we deserve the best. We deserve the best. We are worthy and deserving of the best, and so we shouldn't settle for anything less. Period. Point blank. Okay. So those were my messages to give to you guys today. So I am, as of right now, working on a second master's. So Miss Dixon has to go and post her discussion. And today is actually supposed to be my self-care day. I know, but you know what? It's okay, because I just came from a brunch. One of my volunteer organizations, we did a brunch. So don't worry, don't feel bad for me. I had enough mimosas, so I am good to go. and you know what, Queen? Something else I want to also just quickly touch on. Life doesn't have to be so freaking serious. Like, oh my gosh, hopefully you can see in my videos, like, I'm not that serious like that. Like, life should be fun. I feel like we should be having fun. And we're all, yes, we have to do what we have to do until we can do what we want to do. And I fully get that. Hello, trust me, I get that. Okay? But there has to be some kind of balance. It can't just be work, and you never ever play. Like, and it just shouldn't be so serious all the time. Like, oh my gosh, like, you can be silly, you can have fun. Like, your live videos and what you do, like, everything doesn't have to be so serious all the time. Like, that's so boring. Be authentic. Like, show people that you're like an actual freaking person. Hello, yes, I have issues just like you. I am on this life journey just like you. And that's why I always say, I'm human just like you. Ups, downs, left, right. Like, I don't have this all figured out, you know? So just have fun. Like, everything also doesn't have to be so serious. So, like, don't feel like you can't be yourself and have, like, personality and, you know, everything's got to be so, and, you know. I mean, I'm doing this video in my living room. I don't have a perfect white background and, you know, the perfect anything, you know, like, don't fall into the perfectionist syndrome. I have a serious issue with that. So let me raise my hand, and I'm constantly working on that. Okay. But no, nothing's perfect here. Nothing at all. But that's also why the people who follow me and are my fans and supporters love me. And they will love you. They will love you for being you. Like, people want to know that you're a person and you have and issues like everybody else, and you cry and you hurt. And yes, if you cut, you're going to bleed. Like, you're a person. So don't feel like you have to be so like perfect and everything has to be like pristine and like perfect. And that's maybe why some of you haven't decided to, you know, take that leap of faith on your goals and your dreams. Please, like, don't do that. Like, you will learn along the way. And yeah, I'm working on that. But if you look at my YouTube channel, you will see they don't all look like, you know, perfectly edited videos and all this other stuff. No, but it's enough. And the message is most important. And the fact that it comes from a good place. Like, I want to give this to you from a place of self-love, self-respect, you know, empowerment, women's empowerment, from a place of love. Just pure, honest, authentic love from one queen to another. And to me, that's all you need. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be serious. That's boring, at least for me. Ugh. But anyway, I do have to go do my homework. So I love you, queens. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you guys so much. Wherever you are in the world, love yourself, honor yourself, cherish yourself, honor yourself, love yourself, be your best self, and just take as much time as you need for yourself. If you just need to take a break from everyone, do that. And don't feel guilty about it. And if somebody is, you know, needs you and you just can't, because you've decided to take care of you right now, just politely say, you know what, I can't help you right now. I'm sorry, I can't do that. And it's okay. Like, you've got to have some boundaries. Like, you've got to love yourself. And gosh, you just got to love yourself, queens, and focus on the people that matter, the people that matter, the things that matter. And don't worry about anybody else and their foolishness and their 2 cents or 1 cent for that matter. Okay, just do you, queen. You're magnificent. You're wonderful. You're beautiful. You're enough, queens. You're enough. Oh my gosh, you guys are enough. You have no idea how beautiful and just how magnificent of a creation you are for being here on earth at this time, right here, right now. So I honor you. I salute you, just like I did in my book. I salute you, queens, wherever you are in this world. I absolutely love you, and I honor you, and I ask you to honor yourselves and love yourselves, and always be increasing your self-love and self-respect. And just know that you are worthy and deserving of the absolute best, anything, any and all of your heart's desires, okay? I love you, queens. Mwah, 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 mwah. And you guys have a wonderful, fabulous rest of your evening. Bye.